What do you think we're talking about, roughly speaking?
I think they're in the 50 to 75 basis points range.
Right. Interesting. Okay. So that's obviously a much smaller that's a much smaller figure. Okay.
And recall that again that UBS has the largest amount of ultra high net worth individuals of any other bank by a long shot.
Yes. Yeah.
So following up on that, when you see margins eroding in terms of your income, let's leave aside the expense line of
yes.
Hiring and compliance and technology, which are the big three, right?
Yes.
If your margins are eroding, then one way of running faster on that treadmill is, okay, bring in more assets, right?
Yeah.
And I remember this obsession at UBS with net new money. It was asset growth, and in a way, I was wondering if it was just a propaganda demonstration to the analysts that okay, we had a big problem in 2007, 2008, but we've survived, and look at us, we're opening accounts. But there was an obsession with net new money growth,
yes.
and that was one way of mitigating overall the effect of the eroding margins, and I think Asia was the salvation there. But then you had a realization that the industry has had for a long time, which is now if you can't get revenues from one side, what other ways can we provide products or services to the clients to mitigate the fact that we're not selling hedge funds or mutual funds or structured product as we did in the past? Well,
yes.
one is to use the balance sheet, right?
Yes.
So credit became more important. In some institutions, the sale of insurance products, which are very complementary to succession planning, became another way of being able to generate a revenue stream which hadn't been looked at or focused on before. In the case of UBS, also, they took a dramatic step in terms of, number one, client segmentation exercise, which was very, very painful, and the industry is well aware of that, which was to create the ultra-high net worth unit. That meant that $100 million account that was being managed by a banker that had mainly $20 million accounts would be pulled out from that banker and assigned to another banker in the ultra-high net worth unit. You can imagine the internal pain in terms of, creating two factions and internal rivalries and internecine warfare. And at the same time, the client who may have been dealing with that banker for 20 years,
yes.
Being told, you have somebody new. It was very painful. And then the second was the creation of the Global Family Office, which was Joe Stadler's attempt to bridge the institutional and private client side by getting rid of the first argument, which is how do we share this? And it was, forget it. Let's not look at whether you knew the client before the investment banker came in or the private banker didn't do anything or whatever. Let's just split everything 50-50 down, whatever revenues. And let's also assign specialists that have corporate finance experience. Now, what's the purpose of all this? Well, if you look at the prototypical ultra-high net worth client and family office, that client's not going to be interested in whether his portfolio is earning 3 or 4% more, right?
Yes.
That client more likely than not is still in business, maybe in an inquisitive mode, or maybe in in